Thursday, the 12th of October, and in the studio with me is Mikey Jones of Mikey Jones Art. That's the Twitter handle. You also have his Instagram, which is Mikey Jones Art, and we also have, I think Facebook is Mikey Jones Art too, is it?
Yep, they're all the same.
Same. That makes things easy. Mikey, of course, spelled M-I-K-E-Y. Now, we've talked about other people's art, which you're very infused by what's going on here. The scene in Wrexham, which is, which I am too, which is fab. We also, here's a question for you. What is, of art which you've done, what is your favourite piece?
Wow, good question. I'd probably say the Devil's Bridge one, which I recently had to sell, but it's situated in Ceredigion near Aberystwyth.
Yeah.
What I loved about the scene is it appealed to me from an architectural background.
Right.
It's 3 bridges laid on top of each other, but it was also the experience of being down there. It was I went there just after I passed my driving test, so I got a bit lost, and it's in this really big gorge and very atmospheric. And what I loved about the actual place and painting it is the evolution of the bridges.
Right, okay.
The earliest bridge there's a bit of a myth, which gives its name Devil's Bridge, about the devil once tried to tempt a woman across the bridge, but she didn't. And that's how the original bridge came about. But it's actually a 10th century bridge. And then the Victorians built another bridge over the top of it when carts came along, but they left the original there. And that was really cool. And then when cars came along in about the 1930s, 20s, they built another bridge on top of the Victorian one to deal with cars. So it says a lot, that scene, about how humans have tirelessly evolved with technology, and it kind of showcases some of the remnants of the past as well.
That's incredible, because we don't always do it in Britain. The fact is that we tend to knock something down completely and then we rebuild it for something in the future, which is, I'd say, some parts of, let's say, Eastern Europe, they just build on top of it from what's already there. So it's nice to know that does happen in Wales, because it also shows you so many different things, how we've evolved, the ingenuity originally through to what to now. We've just seen we grow and we create depending on what's there. So incredible. The other thing I'm going to mention, when I asked that question, what happened was that your face suddenly started to beam when you start to think about your piece of art, and the eyes start to twinkle a little bit. So obviously, it seems a daft thing to say, but obviously you're very proud of what you do, and you also get an awful lot of joy from just doing your painting.
Yeah, I guess, because I still work full time.
I didn't know. Sorry.
In the financial sector, and so the art's always been like this kind of. It's what I want to do. When I get spare time, I like to be painting, and eventually I want to be doing it full time. So art for me right now, it isn't like a blag. I don't get anxious about it. It's, if anything, it keeps me de-stressed and it keeps me focused on where I want to be. And yeah, it's like a hobby at the moment, and that's how I want to keep it.
Okay. So it's the idea that it's going to be the job which you do that you absolutely love.
Yeah, that would be the idea, but I think we got to be realistic in this day and age. And if I could suggest to any artists out there who consider like taking it more seriously, as I think in the modern economic climate, you have to be a bit sensible. You have to realise there's bills to pay. Art isn't that lucrative at the start, and even when established art is not lucrative. It's one of them, but by all means, find a means to keep creating, and that would be some advice I'd give to any artist out there.
So is that, if someone who's starting out then as an artist, and it's their first what would you suggest? Would you suggest that they should just go out, go to classes? Do you expect they should just do whatever they feel like is on the paper and to practice on their own, or what? What is the best way?
It's very subjective to the person.
Oh, right, that's a good point. Yes,
but all elements that I think need to be considered is just do what you love doing. Try not to follow any trends. It doesn't necessarily have to be art that people like.
Yeah,
Art that creates a reaction a negative sense is just as strong, in my opinion. But what I would recommend is, even for the more shy artists out there, just go meet people. You know, in Wrexham, there's loads. There's weekly nights happening in the art scene, and just go introduce yourself and familiarize yourself with other people, because I think that is one of the main benefits. Is just talking to people about your own ideas helps them progress, rather than sitting in your room by yourself.
Okay, right. I'm going to stop it there. Tomorrow, though, what I want to do is ask about the feedback you get, because it's something I'm very obsessed with. I love, because I suppose when you do a radio show, you don't really get any feedback to say, all right, but it's different when for you, because you're putting your heart on your line, you're expressing yourself in more way, and so I'm absolutely fascinated. So I would like to talk about that tomorrow. So I have plans for the future. Today's obviously Thursday. So I think, what is your Thursday song?
Okay, so this one is from Laura Marling, who I had the pleasure of recently seeing in Wrexham. She's amazing, guitarist and singer. The song's called Daisy. Never heard it before, but she played it in Wrexham, and it's about her friend who lives on a canal boat and was a bit outrageous at times, and I love the song.
Okay, brilliant. Thanks very much.